Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will be solving a problem where we flatten a nested list. A nested list is simply a list that contains other lists inside it. This can be done in a simple and efficient way, so let's dive into it. So our task is to flatten a nested list. For example, if the input is like a list containing another list inside it. For example, so this list contains another two lists, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lists inside it, and this list 4, 5, 6 contains another list 5, 6 inside it. So we need to flatten the nested list, and the output should be like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a single list. So let's code. First I will write the code, then I will explain it line by line. For that, first we need a function to flatten a nested list. For that, def flatten list, we will pass the nested list, then flat list equal to empty list for item in nested list. If the item is a list like that, if is instance of item comma list, then we recursively flatten the nested list. That is flat list dot extend the flatten list of item. In the else condition, if it's a value, add it to the flat list. For that, else flat list dot append the item, then we will return the flat list. So then we take the input from the user. For that, nested list equal to val of input, then flattened equal to flatten underscore list, and we will pass the nested list we taken from the user. Then finally we can print the flatten list as flattened. So let me explain it line by line. So we define a function flatten list that takes a list nested list as input. This list may contain other list inside it. We created an empty list flat list to store the final flattened elements. So we loop through each elements in the nested list. We loop through each element in the nested list. So if the item is a list, we recursively call the flatten list function to flatten the nested list. So if the item is a list, we recursively call the flatten list function to flatten the nested list. The extend method is used to add all the elements from the nested list to flat list. So the extend method is used to add all the elements from the nested list to the flat list. In the else condition, if the item is not a list, we add it directly to flat list. So if the item is not a list, we add it directly to flat list. So what exactly is happening is, if the item is a list, then we will do this, and if the item is not a list, then we just directly add it to the flat list. Finally, we will return the flattened list, and here we take the input from the user, which can be a nested list, and we use the eval to directly interpret the input as a list. Then we call the flatten list function with the user input, and finally we will print the result. So let me write the input. So the list should be like 1, 2, 3, then 4, 5, 6, 7. That's it. Let's run, and the output should be like this. Flatten list. Yeah, flatten list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So in this video we studied some key concepts like using a recursive function to handle nested list, and we used the extend to flatten a nested list and append to simply add the elements to the list. And that's how we can flatten a nested list using a simple and efficient approach in Python. It's a great method to handle nested data structures. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for more interesting coding problems, and happy coding.